Caine. Hey, Caine. You can have... Well,
There's washing to do anyhow.
Yes.
And you come, the Norman.
Oh, dear, oh, dear.
I think you're slightly disorderly dressed there. Just
well...
take that off. There we are.
Oh, dear. Oh. Yeah. So what was...
Norman, the thing that amazed me, you know, reading in your biography, which you haven't yet written...
Yes.
They say that when you joined the army as a band boy, you were the only band boy in the history of the British Army who couldn't play any instruments. Now, what's with all this clarinet and the tambourines and all the rest of it?
Well, yes, yeah, that was before I joined, you see. Now, you see, I was... It starts back a bit, you see. See, I was walking about with no backside. I nearly said arse then. To my trousers and no shoes. And I was out of work, and I was just 14, and I used to sleep behind the Marshal Fox statue down at Victoria and in any buildings that I could get. And I used to, about 3 o'clock in the morning, I used to go into a coffee stall. There was a coffee stall there, and I used to go and poke my head just above the counter, you see, and the bloke there, after 2 or 3 minutes, he would push a hot pie to me and a cup of Bovril. And after a few nights, he got fed up with this. He says, why don't you join the army? So I said, well, I can't join the army. I'm not big enough. You know, of course, I had a different voice then. I said, I can't join the army. I'm not big enough. See, so he said, yeah, but you don't have to be big. I said, well, I'm not old enough. He said, you don't have to be any particular... You're 14 and you'll get in the army. So I said, well, he said, well, in the band. I said, well, I don't know anything about music. He said, yeah, but that's all right. You go along there and bull them. See, you know, I don't want to finish the bull. So I went along to Scotland Yard, which was the joining up centre at that time, and I passed the medical examination, fortunately. I was at that time, I mean, I'm not big now, but at that time I was 4 foot 10 and a half, and I weighed 5 stone 9 when I joined the army. What do you keep looking at? See, you ain't doing that already, are you? Eh? Oh dear, that's the hurry up. That's the hurry up bit, you see. I should think we've got 10. You should have asked me my age and I'd have gone. So we're going on until the proper time, I tell you that. So, Bill Cotton, So, anyway, I then had an interview with the bandmaster after I passed the medical, and he said to me, you know about music? I said, of course. He said, well, what's the flat? I said, well, I don't know that one. So he said, well, what's the sharp? You know, like we were having a game riddles. And I said, no, I don't know that one either, see? So he said, well, you don't know much about music? I said, no. But I said, if you give me an opportunity. And before you know what's happened, he said, all right, and I was in India.
When you got to it, I mean, how can you be a bandsman without being able to play any... Could you not play any instrument at all?
When I got to India, then I was put onto clarinet. Well, now, it takes 2 or 3 years to learn to play clarinet, even the chuck-chucks. Because...
The what?
Well, the chuck-chucks.
What's that?
Well, like if the orchestra's playing the Blue Danube, chuck-chuck, 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 chuck-chuck. See, and I was playing I was on 3rd chuck-chucks then. As we went on, I learnt to play trumpet, I mean straight trumpet, without the valves, Ken, no arm. Blowing Cookhouse and Reveille and that sort of thing. I was always late, but I got the calls eventually. And the band used to go away on engagements, up to 3 months up into hills at beautiful places, and I wanted to go with them, but I couldn't play, and I was left on guard, blowing the Reveille and all that sort of thing. So I went into the stores and I sorted that out. I said, I'll get an instrument that nobody else plays and I'll learn. And I pulled an old xylophone out of the storeroom and I marked it by chalk. I worked out with the music very slowly because I was learning a bit, and I marked every note chalk, and parrot fashion I learnt a piece called Snowflakes, and then I learnt another piece called 2 imps, you see, and I was da-da-da-da-da-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum, on the xylophone, you see. Well, anyway, I improved on that. And when the band came down from the hills, this engagement, it was customary for them to rehearse a show, like for officers' mess or something like that, from, say, 9:30 until 12:30. But round about 12 o'clock, they'd run out of the music, and the bandmaster would say, would anybody fancy anything in particular? And I said, Snowflakes.
What was your request?
Yeah. So he said, but, and they all laughed, he said, Snowflakes is a xylophone solo, wisdom. And I said, I know. So he said, what do you mean? I said, yeah, I've been learning to play the xylophone while you've been away. So he said, well, all right then, well, let's get it out, let's hear you. So, sure enough, I got it out, and we started to play, and I went, right. Da-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-tum, la-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-tum, da-ba-da-bum, ba-ba-da-bum, yum, yum, da-ba-da-bum, ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-dum, da-ba-da-bum, and I finished the piece, and they all went, oh dear. And the very next troop concert, I was standing out in the front. I was doing my chuck-chuck bit, you see. And then when the solo came, I was out in the front. La-da-da-da-dum, ha-ba-da-yum, ha-ba-yum, ba-yum, yum, ba-ba-da-bum-ba-dum-ba-dum, see. And everybody went, wow. And this was it. See, out in front.
A musician at last.
Yes. And then I began to feel, you know, the urge for the... And so I thought, no, I don't mean that. So I began to get the show business pang a bit. And I then... we used to sing sea shanties, you see, in the concert, the band. So, you know, like, to be hey, you were in a jaunting car, way, hey, or who, all the whole band. And I went to the bandmaster and I said, excuse me, standing up, I can't help it, well, you don't see me very well, sitting down. I went up and I said, excuse me, sir, but nobody sings the solos in the sea shanties. And he said, well, we haven't got anybody who can sing the solo in the sea shanties. So I said, but, sir, I've been practicing. He said, oh, I see, yes. Well, you mean you? I said, yes, sir. He said, well, all right, let me hear you. And I sang, you must say yes to Mr. Brown, no more or less to Mr. Brown, which is an old Jack Buchanan number. And before you know what's happening, I'm going out in the concert, you see, chucks, and da-ba-da-ba-da-bum, da-ba-da-ba-da-bum, yum, ba-da-bum-ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-dum. So I'll finish that, hooray, sit down, chuck. Yeah, it's true, Ken, see? So now I'm really getting the bug, now. See, so I then go out into the wash house, which was a stone floor. I have to go over here, see. I went out and I started just to... hour after hour. You can hear me for here, can't you, Donny?
Yes, I can, yes.
See, and then... See, and got into it. It's better with taps. Then I went into the bandmaster, see, and I said, excuse me, sir. He said, yes, Wisdom. I said, so what would it be like if we had somebody do a tap dance in front of the band at the next troop concert? He said, very good, Wisdom. I said, well, he said, oh, Wisdom, no, don't tell me. Don't tell me. Don't. I said, yes, sir. So the next troop concert, chucks, abba-da-ba-da-bum, chucks, chippy hey, rick-a-jig in a jaunting car. and I was really getting the bug now. Now this was concerts for the troops, you see. Am I going on too much?
No, you're not.
Oh. No. How we all right for time, are we? Because we've got a breakfast being sent over. So the very next concert was over at the officers' mess. Now they were a more sophisticated audience, and you know, I never appeared in front of the officers, only on charges and things like that. See, but so we went over there, and I did the with them, and then came out tap dancing, and they started to laugh, and I was annoyed. I thought, what are they laughing? Oh dear, I was upset, and it suddenly occurred to me, more sophisticated, and after all, I was dancing, tap dancing, in army boots and cap and full uniform.
It must look a bit odd.
I had no tap shoes or anything like that, you see. So it then occurred to me, I thought, well, all right, if they're laughing, I'll make them laugh. So I tripped, and then I fell.